Okay. Um, Good morning to everybody on the East Coast, and good afternoon to everybody in Uganda, and to all the different people in the time zones. I hope you're all doing well. Today we are honored to have Eleanor Nabwiso with us today, and I'll be interviewing her. And my name is Paulina Lubega, and we're glad to have you all. And in case you have any questions, do not be afraid, send them over as we continue to chat. And Eleanor, I just want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. And I'm honored
Thank you.
to have you. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
And yeah, just a little background of about Engage, Inspire, and Empower. Our team, it's kind of like in the beginning of this entire journey or the organization, it was mainly from people struggling to get into the system, into the society with school, finances, it could be anything, and how that's how Engage, Inspire, and Empower was born to try to help people and provide resources, as many resources as they are. Um, so that's how Engage, Inspire, and Empower was born, and we try to help people with either applications or tutoring or conferences, and name it. Anything that people request for, we can try to do it. And that's a little bit about Engage, Inspire, and Empower. And um, Eleanor, I'm happy to have you. And our first question is just tell us who Eleanor is.
Okay. Well,
Anything about Eleanor.
I take both pronunciations. So, hi everyone who's tuned in. My name is Eleanor Nabwiso. I'm an actress to start with, and a film producer and director with Nabwiso Films. I've been acting for over 10 years now. I began TV at an early age. That was at about 19 with WBS as a TV presenter. Then I started acting, and most people knew me from the Hostel series back in the day. And after that, we started our company with my husband, Matthew, which is Nabwiso Films. And we've done so much along the way, so many movies and series along the way. And here I am.
Oh, great, great, great. And I know you said like the Nabwiso films and all that. How was it transitioning from being in front of the camera to behind the camera?
Oh, wow. It wasn't so hard. Um, well, during the hostel, we had over 300 episodes filmed. And the times when I wasn't working as an actress, I would go sit with the director and see what he does. I would go check out the cameras, see how it works. And I kind of had that passion to kind of learn and produce something of my own. And I believed in using visual art to create change. So I normally do visual art mostly to kind of create awareness and create change. And I was thinking, how is it best told? How do I best tell something that's so private, an issue in society, but can be put through film and entertainment that people can believe and kind of say I can relate to this. So yeah, I kind of did the filming, and I felt like writing and producing was really easy because when I get to work, I really want to work and finish something. So I felt like, yeah, I would miss being an actress in front of the screen, but also behind the scenes is good because you create a whole lot more for
Yeah.
yourself, and it's more satisfying. But my first passion is acting, of course.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, that's really good. And so I know like the main role that you're known for is the hostel. Do you want to tell us in summary a little bit about it for all the people who have never watched it?
Okay, well, the hostel started back in the year, and it was like one of the biggest banged like on TVs in Uganda and across Africa, because when you travel across Africa, they recognize you. And I remember being called for the auditions, and I was like, I'm acting as a born-again Christian who is, getting sport along the way at campus. I'm thinking, that could be easy. So I kind of transitioned into the role, and I liked the role because it spoke to so many people out there. I mean, young girls coming from school into university and what they're going to go through. So after the auditions, I took it on, and it, like, everyone just related with the role Hope and took it on. Up to now, I'm still called Hope. Years later.
Hope instead of Eleanor. Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think to many, like, campus life is something that speaks volume to many people. So it's just like somebody, you could come from all walks of life. You've never had that adventure of being by yourself, trying to go through school, and hostel life is completely different. I think for the idea, it's just like you just think of hostel life. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna be free and I'm just gonna do whatever I want. But no, that's not the reality of it. So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, and then can you tell us a little bit about your education background?
Yeah, I went to Namagunga Primary School. And then after that, I went to Seta High School. I did 2 schools all the way. And of course, well, my nursery school was called JV, but then I did primary all the way from I did 3. I did Vincent Alex, and then went to Namagunga Primary, all the way to P7, and then I went to Seta High from S1 to S6. And then after that, nice. I tried going to MOBS. I tried doing entrepreneurship at MOBS, but the accounting on the timetable wasn't matching with my TV life. So I left MOBS and went to Sikkim Manipal. It's Indian, and did science in IT, where I graduated.
Ah, nice. Yeah. That's really interesting. So with science and IT, was it just an interest, or was it something that you just wanted to do?
I love IT. And I was thinking, what can I do at university that I can kind of finish first-class degree and don't even go back for a retake, and then go back to my TV life? So I thought and said, yeah, I think I could do science and IT, and then get my degree, and then just go back to TV after that. So I chose science and IT. It's quite easy.
Oh, nice. That's good. And so transitioning, do you use those IT skills anyway in your industry, or is it something that is just like, okay, I did it and it's done?
No, not really. I mean, IT is everywhere. You can't miss it. Since I run a company, well, my own company, you have to end up doing invoices, doing scripting for clients. You have to do so many things with a computer. So write contracts and emails. I mean, it's all IT. So I still do all those, and the Excel sheets, writing the, cast and crew, how much you're paying who. It's endless with IT. So I don't go deep into the programming, which I did at campus, but I use the basics still for work.
Yeah. That's really good. It's interesting to see, like, the white thing about IT is like it has become the normal today, because it's like IT driving everything, especially with the pandemic, and people have to go we have to go into the visual world or the virtual world, and it's just like anything that you want to do, you can do it virtually. So I think, to me, 2020 has been like an IT year. Whether you want to use it or you don't want to use it, it's just like you're just forced into using it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I know you have been, you did talk a little bit like IT and then filming. What would you tell to somebody who would want to go into the filming industry and all that stuff, but then they're kind of afraid, or peer pressure, or my parents cannot let me do that, and all those scenarios? What would you tell to that person?
Well, to start with, I think you need to know it's your passion and it's what you want to do. and you have to do it whether you like it or not. I remember fighting for being an artist with my parents. And I remember telling them, listen, art pays. When I act, I'm going to get paid. When I produce content, I'm going to get paid. And I'm thinking, no, you need to work in a bank or be a lawyer or be something. And I remember getting paid my first salary during the hostel. I took it to my mom and said, listen, see, this is the money I got from acting. And she was thinking, oh, they actually pay. So I think to start with, it's not easy to at the beginning if you want to create your own content, because you need so much to start with, equipment, paying so many people. You pay over 50 people for a project, even 100 sometimes. You need capital to start with, and also believing in yourself. And I always tell people, since the art industry here is more of self-taught, learn so much more and learn to create what you know the market is going to consume, because that way you can earn from your projects. Because if you produce something that won't be consumed, then you won't earn. It's not something you can just dream about and quit dreaming. If you're dreaming about being an artist or acting, get up and make that first step. Go do auditions, look out for the nice producers, write to them or something, and then reach out to them. And you never know when your first audition will be and when you get your first role out there. And once you get your first big role, let your first take be like your last take, that when you act something out there, someone else will call you for more. And that journey is endless.
Yeah, that's really good. And then for I know, like, sometimes, like, the idea of being an actress or a producer, it's kind of like this world that exists that is kind of like an untouchable world or unimaginable world, whereby is your life, like your home life, different from your career life? Like, do you separate those two, or do you merge those two to work together?
I kind of do both. I do both.
Okay.
But then I believe I separate a lot more, because when I get home, after I get into the gate, I'm like a typical playful mom with my kids, and I want to just, put on that loose dress and just be me and just be with my kids and my husband. And out there, it's totally different. When you're on set, you're leading so many people, you're running this and that, you're kind of acting, you're doing so much. So you're kind of put into that zone of leading all these people, and I need to make this happen. But then again, like I said, I also put them together, because sometimes I like to take my children with me. If I'm not having such a busy day, I try to take them with me so they can learn something on set, do something on set, or, play around the set. But I'm not so different in both worlds. Like, if you met me at home or on set or in public somewhere, I'm kind of the same. I've refused to let myself act a certain way that is so different and appealing to the public, which I'm not in real life. So I really keep it real.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. And then being an actress, do you have any formula of how you used to choose your roles, or how do you determine, like, I can do this role and I can't do the other role, or anything of that sort? Or even
for me,
in production. Yeah.
It starts with a story for me. As an actress, you're not supposed to limit yourself on what you're going to take on, because I could be anyone I want to or do anyone I want to as an actress. But then for me, it begins with a story. What is a story? Is it appealing to the public? Would they buy into it? Will people relate to my character? And then if I take on the character, I like to kind of leave the character. I take off at least 2 months or 1 month, and I look for someone around my circles who might be the character I'm going to play, or someone in the neighborhood who is like a character I'm going to play very soon. I keep around them for some time, keep looking at them, watch what they do, how they say things, how they act, how they walk. And I take time to study a role and then get into it. So if you find me doing a project, you might kind of get me acting a certain way and you're thinking, why is she like that? But I'm kind of getting to leave that person, so that by the time the camera rolls, someone will say, I believe that woman. I don't know who she is in real life even, but I think she's like that. So I like to take on roles and take it seriously. I don't reject frauds
Nice.
though. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know. Good to know. And earlier on, you did talk about like the Nabwiso films and all that. Can you tell us a little bit how it was born?
Oh wow. So the hostel ended after
Yeah.
three seasons. And every time we go places, people would say, "Where do you find more of your work? We miss you on TV. Where do you find more of your work? We miss you on TV."
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, am I looking for the next audition? I actually traveled around Africa trying to get like the next big gig. I went to Nigeria for the Disney World auditions. I went to Kenya for Top Actor, South Africa. And somehow one day we sat there and said, you know what? I can write, I can produce. What do we need? Capital to start with. And I remember Matthew saying, you know what? Let's start our own company. And I'm like, are you mad? How do we start a company and then what? Produce? That's crazy. We can't just up and it's like, no, trust, because we've been places and people have been asking us, what do we do? And I
Yeah.
remember thinking, what will be our niche? What will be our niche in the market? Something that hasn't been done before that will help us sell the company. So we started Nabwiso Films, and we said we'll add on so much more apart from film production and do a lot more like documentaries, commercials, more like a visual art production company. And I remember we said our niche will be changing people's lives through film. So we believed in having a topic to kind of put out for people to watch and relate with, and then have discussions after that. And it was welcomed in so many areas. The time we did Rain, our first big movie, I remember doing Rain and thinking, okay, it's out now. And then it blew out so much. We won so many awards for it, and different, all over the world. That is like in China, in London, in where else? Tanzania, in Rwanda. And I remember thinking, okay, this is so much. It's so big now. And we kept taking to different districts in Uganda after winning the Best Actress in East Africa in the Burundi Festicab. We took it to different districts to kind of talk about HIV and early marriages with young girls. And the discussions opened up were so big that we were encouraged to create more content like that. So Nabwiso Films' journey was endless after that. And we kept producing more and more content. And we've been winning so many awards for everything we do. And it's like a push for us to keep going, because then our work is recognized and appreciated.
Mm-hmm. That's really good, and that's promising. And I know one of the industries that has really been affected with the whole pandemic situation is the film industry, the entertainment industry. How has that impacted Nabwiso Films and everything that is going on?
I wouldn't say the pandemic has been bad to my side. You know, we had, I think, 1 week. We had 1 week of, like a total lockdown, and we're thinking, okay, so it's lockdown. But then remember, everyone was under lockdown. No one was moving around. That means no organization would go out to, reach out to communities or talk to people about the pandemic. And like I said, we use visual content to create awareness and change. Yeah. And immediately the next week, we were up on our feet working. We did so many different gigs for the Ministry of Health, for CDFU, UNFPA. These are different organizations in Uganda that work to create awareness. So we've been working since the lockdown started. I should say for us, it's been like a positive vibe for the Nabwiso Films. We've been creating content since the beginning. Since people can meet up in different places in big numbers, we've been creating visual art to get to them on their phones, on their TVs. And we've been working since.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Because everybody, the pandemic has affected everybody in a different way. Some people, everything just stopped. Other people, everything started. Yeah. And one thing that I look at maybe some of the IT like companies, let's say like Zoom or so, Facebook Live, they have been able to keep moving and trying to bring these walls together, even when people cannot meet. So, That's really
think the
good.
only bad thing, the only negative part was knowing that the rest of the people in the industry had not like put out their work. Because I remember even I had just finished a short movie called Prickly Roses before the lockdown started. And we had planned to make a big premiere in the theaters and put it out. And we were thinking, okay, now the pandemic is here, but we still need to put the message out. So we just put it on YouTube and said, well, we have, our goal was to reach so many people and create awareness through the messages in the movie. And it went, so viral on YouTube. But I wish we had maybe produced a lot more content before the lockdown, because then I think the biggest market and selling point for the media world was during this lockdown. There was so much consumed on different platforms online. So I think if you had a lot more content online, it would have been even selling a lot more now.
So I know we're talking about a little bit of producing content during the pandemic and all that and how it was going for you. I know you have said that, yeah, it has been pretty productive on your side. And so that is really good to know. And yeah. And for I guess one thing that I'm really curious about, what really drives you, because it's like actress, producer, director, a mother, and everything. So what really drives you?
What drives me in life? I think in life for me, what drives me is wanting to do more with myself. I always tell everyone, and I think what tired of my saying, but well, I've grown up with this. My mother always told me, if you're good at something, make your good better. Never let it rest until your better is best. And that has been driving me all my life, because I don't like doing something and it's not done to completion or to its best capacity. So that drives me every time I do something. I want to do it perfectly. I am a mother now. I want to be the best mother to my children. I do it perfectly well. I need to create time for everything. Am I producing content? I need to produce very good content that will go across the world and to be noticed everywhere. So I keep driving to doing my best at everything.
That's good. That's good. That's good. I think we all strive for being better people in whatever we try to do, and I think that is like great advice that anybody can ever give to you. Try to do better than the person. I think I hear a lot about trying to be better than the person you were yesterday, or like a minute ago. Like trying to be better than that person is kind of like a major drive everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. And what kind of advice will you give to your young self?
Wow. My advice, my young self would have been maybe, save every little penny you get. I think, because sometimes I sit back and I look back and I say to myself, we spent a lot of money growing up. Like, let's say, I think uni was like the best time, because you get money for everything you asked for. Oh, it's my birthday, and they send you money. Oh, I'm doing this, I need that, you get money. And I'm thinking, if we didn't like do all the partying and, but I think it's also good to live that kind of life anyway. But what I would say is, maybe I would have told my younger self to save a penny, because then you'd be having a lot more in future, because when you grow with your savings, you think better as you get older, for what should I do with my money or something. But then I lived in the moment and spent it all, and as you grow, you get to understand the meaning of saving, and you're thinking, I think at some point I remember I didn't save it. I had a big party and I had a blast, but if we had saved a bit of that money, maybe then we'd be using it for, because you make better decisions as you grow bigger. So
yeah, that's really true. It's like when you're young, you just want to spend every single money that you get, and it's all about having a good time. Enjoy that life while it lasts. So yeah, I think we've all been culprits.
But imagine if you had like, if
keep going.
Because imagine if you had got maybe 100,000, you'd save off 50 and use a 50, then years later you'd be grateful for what you saved up. But you don't think about that. So
yeah, that's true. It's like in our minds, I think at that point in time, it's all about like trying to get whatever you can. Like you want that piece of candy,
Mm-hmm.
you want that chocolate, you want that biscuit, and it's just like, I want it now. I don't care about tomorrow. Tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do better. And it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because at that age you're just like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm not planning to save. I just
Yeah,
want
it is.
get what I want. Yeah, yeah, that's true. So besides being an actress and having the
Yeah.
Nabwiso
Yeah.
film, is there anything else, any other projects that you're working on?
We're working on a lot of projects currently. It's all in the pipeline. So when the time is right, then we'll, put out the advertisement and say what we're up to and what we're doing. But we have a lot cooking.
Ah, nice. That's good to
Yeah.
hear. So we should we will wait for that content gladly and everything. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, you did talk about the content that you produce, the content that you work with, how it impacts society. What has been in your point of view, what has been like the greatest, or what would you consider to be like the best either content or role that you had to focus on?
Oh, I've loved all my roles so far, but I think I would give it up for, let's say, I think Dora Nantongo in Rain.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it because I took so much time with it, and it kind of put out that message that I wanted the world to kind of embrace. And up to date, it's been since 2016, but years later, and the movie is still, selling out, and people still love the message behind it. And I'm glad that it speaks to volumes. I still get messages about rain, like people love the message behind the movie, and I'm glad the role kind of had that big impact on society, combining both HIV awareness and early pregnancies in young girls. And not just that, even just the pressure for the young girls growing up and getting into the world, how to be patient in life, not to fall for any small offers from people. It still speaks volumes even up to date. And I love the role. Yeah.
Oh, that's really great. That's really great. I know we do like a lot about like the girl child and all that education wise, and the expectations of society and everything. What would you say about that?
The expectations of society. Sorry.
Yeah, like for the girl child, like the struggles and expectations and all that stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what would you say about it?
There's so much
Especially like
expected from everybody.
mm-hmm.
So there's so
Sorry.
much expected from people in society. But then again, it comes back to, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
It comes back to who you are in life. If you wake up and say, I know who I am, I know what people expect of me, but am I ready to offer what they expect of me? And if you're not ready to offer what they expect of you, then just be patient and live your life to the time when you feel like, I can do this and I'm ready to offer this. But then there's so much pressure. And I think it's taken people into different zones of actions, from just being desperate and then wanting to create a lot more for the people to consume what you are and who you are. I believe if you take on societal pressures, people get sick
Yeah.
from pressure. People get sick. People get to do dubious activities that may lead you into doing a lot, like stealing or drug use or early sex, to impress somebody or people out there. So I think when you feel like the pressure is real from the society or people around you,
Yeah.
sit back and say, I know who I am. And when I'm ready to do something, then I will. But right now, I'm going to live in my zone until I
Yeah.
feel like I have the ability to live and do what people expect of me.
Okay, that's really good.
Yeah.
That's good advice. And for for any of like the girl child, or my perspective of the whole entertainment industry is something you have to develop some kind of thick skin to go
Yeah.
through the industry. Is that something that you had to go through, or like how did that come about if you had to go through that?
Wow. Like I said, I began at an early age. I was literally 19. And when you join the industry, you're hanging with people that are way older than you and have been in the industry for so long. But then you have to get a thick skin, actually, because you're hanging around so many people who are doing all sorts of things. And if you don't have a thick skin to say, I'm not that person and I won't join in, you'll be led into doing
Yeah.
so many things around you and engaging in so much, and you don't know how it's going to turn out. So being young, I always knew where to limit myself from. I would know, okay, I'm doing TV, but when I'm done with my work, I would like to leave early. And if it's running till late, maybe, okay, I can engage for a certain time. And I say, you know what, I've done my time, I need to leave. When you feel like the environment around you is changing to something that won't help you in life or move you to another level in life, then you can leave. People just need to know when to leave. And if you've been offered something, again, it's about a thick skin. If you've been offered something or, being advised to do certain things, you just say, you know what, I will not do it. And then move on. Because if you're not thick skinned and you get scares along the way, if you don't do this, I won't give you that. Or if you don't engage in this, then you won't get that. So it's up to you to say, you know what, I'm enough and I won't. So it's kind of taken me through the phases in life to say, you know what, I'm not going to engage in this and that. So even if you've been pushed by society or people around you to do certain things and they are influencing you to do certain things, you say, no, I won't. And it's been years in the industry and I've said no so many times to so many things, and I'm glad I'm thick-skinned.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I think to many, it's just kind of like you have to get thick skinned for anything in life. I think.
Yeah.
And I think with the entertainment industry, it's just like you have to develop a thicker skin than anybody else because of everything that goes around and all that. And so you did say like you're a mother and all that. How do you balance your work and your like work and life, everything balance? How do you do it?
I've been asked that many times, but I tell people it's about the timetable you make. So I've lived my life on a timetable, basically. So, and it's never changed. As a mother, I have my timetable at home and it's strictly followed. That is 7 breakfast, 1 o'clock, 11 o'clock fruit, 1 o'clock lunch, 4 o'clock snack, 6:30 bathing, 8:30 bedtime. That's never changed for all my kids. And so when they fall into it, it's kind of easy to manage them, whether you're away from home or you're, working. Because I know if I'm working somewhere, I know the people I've left in charge of my kids will follow the timetable. And even the kids know. They know the time and they say, it's lunchtime. It's 1, it's 4, we want our snack. So whoever stays with them knows their timetable has never changed. So they know all that. And if I'm at work, I know it's time to work. And I've done my schedules at work as well. Although sometimes at work, schedules really change because of the weather in Uganda. It couldn't be so hot when you plan for a cool scene, or you plan for a dry scene and it's raining. So we just kind of switch up, and I'm ready and flexible to switch up a lot of scenes at work. And it gets crazy at work because you have to run between production and the other part of the company. So literally the whole day in between the timetable, we keep shifting to what to do. Like, am I running for a meeting? Who's running the production this side? Do I run the production and a meeting at the same time? Sometimes I step away from a production to do a Zoom meeting and then back to production. And I know by the time I'm done, I need to get back before 8:30 sometimes to take the kids to bed and, be with them a bit. So I don't like to get back home really late. And if I'm really running late, sometimes you have night shoots that go till late. So I make a call and make sure I've talked to them at least before they sleep, so they know I'm not coming back. It's important to communicate to my kids. I communicate a lot because I know they are human and they understand these things. They would ask you so many questions. So I tell them, I'm running late. We're filming at night. So go to bed. I'll see you in the morning. Or go to bed. I'm coming back later in the night. I might come and say hi in your sleep, and I'll see you in the morning anyway. So yeah, I manage both sides with a timetable, and I try to run both lives. If I feel like it's going to be so busy, sometimes I take my kids with me and then I can see them play around, and then they can leave late and I know I've spent time with them and they won't feel like I've been selfish, and then they go back home. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Yeah, I think it's just interesting to have like a timetable to follow. Or like in school, you know, you're told like, hey, it's breakfast time, it's lunch time, it's evening time, it's prep time, and it like those timetables were really hard to adjust to. And I think it's just later on in life that when you try to find a structure of some sort for yourself, that you're just like, okay, now I can bring out this skill, I can do this, I can do this. So it kind of helps to build like a sketch around your life. So yeah. And I know that the series is about success versus greatness. So I will ask you, with do you think success is the same as greatness? How would you define success? How would you define greatness to you? And yeah.
Okay, so for me, I would say success is making it right. If you plan to do something and then you manage to do it, that is success, because you've succeeded at doing something. But then greatness is how you've done it, how you've succeeded at it. If you succeed, that's great. But how about greatness? Greatness is when you've succeeded at the best level. So I feel like greatness is, yes, I've succeeded, but I've done it right all the way. That means I've done, let's say in film production, I've done my script right, I've done my my casting right, I've done my camera angles right, my cinematography is right, and it has come out to be successful but great. So I'll give an example of if I've successfully done a movie and it's out there, but no awards won, no recognition, that is just success. But greatness is doing a production to its best and you're winning awards all over. For me, that's greatness, because then you produce successfully, but you are great at something. The same as being a mom. Everyone can have a baby, it's easy. You have a baby, but then are you great at being a mom? Have you spent time with your kids? Have you taught them the lessons in life that you have to teach them? Are they rising up to be people in leadership, or people who just hand their hand out to get whatever they want? So greatness comes with doing it right to succeed.
Oh, that's really great definition. Yeah. I think it's just like, to me, it's kind of like success, all these small little goals that we do get, and then greatness, it's just like an impact back to society. So kind of like that. Yeah. And it's kind of relatable to that, because you cannot be impactful in society when you're not doing something that is good, something that is, sometimes we think of when you get to success, I'm done. But I don't think it's the end after success.
No.
Yeah. That's quite an interesting.
Moving on to greatness.
Yeah, that's true. And what kind of legacy would you like to leave?
I believe legacies are predicted when you leave, I should say. Because if you're going to fight to leave something behind, you might be disappointed not to have done it in life. But then if you lived your life right and did your best at everything, anybody can leave a legacy. You could have done your best as a mom, your best as a wife, your best as a film producer, your best as a banker. Even if you didn't do it to your best before you died, but then the world will know you for what you were and what you did. And what's that legacy? They would say, oh, he was a banker, but the legacy would be he didn't take anybody's money. Like he was right in life. He was, So they talk about you when you're gone and they create a legacy. But then for me, a legacy would be, if I were to predict my legacy to leave behind, I would want to leave a legacy of great production. I would love to leave a legacy of an impactful visual industry. Like I've started something and I would like to see it move to the best of its levels. It's not been easy, but I would like to leave and everyone knows, oh, Nabwiso Films actually opened so much for the film industry. Oh, Nabwiso Films did their best and were recognized worldwide and got so many awards. And also the fact that we believe in creating film to create change in people's lives. I would like to leave that legacy behind that. Yeah, we created and we changed people's lives and created awareness through visual art. Yeah.
That's really great. So with the change that you do speak about, is there like any particular kind of like something that you would want to change, either perspective or actions or anything in society?
Mm-hmm. I would love to change a lot in society, from perspective to thinking. It's so much. You know, if you leave your comfort zone, say especially your country, and move to different places and different countries, you kind of notice and wish that back at home things were seen differently, or back at home things were viewed differently. The perspective is different all over the world, but then it's so much I would love to change around. And judging from mostly societal issues, say marriages, traditional norms. I go through circles of, like, you know, gender-based violence, early marriages, early childhood development, nutrition. It's so much. Like I said, we do visual art across all topics to create change and awareness. So if people want to listen and gather in a group to listen to a counselor talk to them, I would like to entertain you using visual art, and you still get the message, and you won't, you know, deny the fact that you've had it. Somehow push it into your head. Because you'd be laughing at a joke in a movie, but I'm telling you, you know, don't take a little girl for marriage, or don't do that. But then you're entertained and you're kind of getting the change.
Yeah.
So I would like to change so much, especially things that are not spoken of openly, you know, topics that are like people always say, hey, don't talk about those things in public. Don't, you know, you keep quiet about it.
Yeah.
I want film to speak out and say, no, let's speak out in all forms, you know, speak out against early marriages, speak out about HIV, speak out against gender-based violence, be free about speaking about these topics. And then through speaking, we create change, because then people are made aware, and then change will be created.
Yeah. That's really good. That's really good. Yeah. I think change is something that is really hard to do. I think we as human beings, we tend to get very comfortable in our zones, or in anything that we do. We're really hesitant about change. How do you navigate that space, though?
How do I?
How do you navigate the space of trying to change perspective, trying to change behavior and all that? Do you have any ideas or any tips of how you navigate that? Because I know, like, with human beings, change is really difficult.
Well, change is difficult, but then again, people have to come to terms of, when do I want to change? Do you decide and say, I'm done with this lifestyle, or do you wait for something bad to happen before you can change? So I always, what to the wise is enough. But then that's something that's been said over the years. So I'm going to tell you, and I expect you to change. But then again, if you've listened and you've not changed it, then somehow, someday you get the pinch. And then you feel like, I think it's time to change, you know. It's just like drinking, and you say over the week, I'm not drinking again. And then it's Friday, and then Saturday, you're back at the drinking. It takes time to say, you know what, I'm done. So again, word to the wise is enough. We speak, and then you know when to change. And you never want to go through life knowing someone will come and say, I told you so. I told you so. I think people should listen and change when they must. Because whoever is telling you to change knows what the impact will be if you don't change. People don't think about. But if it's like mothers actually. Your mom comes and says, "I've been there. I don't think you should do this," and you're thinking, "Oh, mom, come on, I know what I'm doing." And then you go do something, and then you get back, and then she says, "Yeah, I told you so." So you don't want to go through the "I told you so" phase. So it's better you act now, and then not go through that.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's really interesting. I think it's just like as a child or something, it's just like curiosity and all that. When your parent says, "Hey, you cannot do that," and then you're just like, "Okay, why can't I do it?" And then like it's very tempting to go and do it because it's just like, I want to have my own experience about that. So yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah. And so for I know the impact in the entertainment industry is different from the young generation and the older generation and all that. What would you tell to the young people like who wanted to join the industry? Do they wait, or is there any particular age that you're just like, hey, when you get to this age, it's much better off than when you start at this particular age? Do you have any opinion on that?
Well, there's really no age. There's no age. I've had so many parents reach out and say, "Oh, my child is just 7, but I see how they act and I think they should join the industry." I think the earlier you join, the better, because then you grow with the industry. You can join when you're older, but then you join for the older roles, mommy, jaja, whatever. But if you join at an early age, it takes discipline, first of all, discipline and hard work. So you have to keep discipline because the industry is so tempting and there's so much that goes around the industry. But then if you're young and disciplined, the industry has so much to offer from whatever age. Say if you start very young, you grow with it and grow into it. And for years, it's like artists we've seen, growing up. Let's say so many artists we've seen from 18, they're singing or dancing, and now they are 40 something or 30s, but you can't even tell, but because they still look the same. But then any age is really fun. I wouldn't say no to a little child who is 7 or 5. I would say go on and do it. Takes discipline and hard work that will keep you moving in the industry. So if you're up for the discipline and hard work, then go start at an early age. As long as you stay in school and graduate.
Yeah. That's important. Education is important. Yeah. And
it is. You never know when you need that thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And have you used the visual art to share the authentic depiction of the African of being African, or especially the Ugandan story?
I always do. If you watch most of my movies, I always do. There's so much to offer from Uganda. I've used traditional wear. I've used ceremonies like the Kasuzekatia in Bed of Thorns, the way we dress up. And I always insist on the, basically the way of life. How do we speak? How do we go about certain situations in life? I keep it so UG. I use a lot of the African definition, most of the Ugandan definition. So yeah, I do a lot of it.
Okay. Yeah, and so there's a question for you. How do you deal with social media trolls or something, being a public figure?
How do I deal with?
How do you deal with like the social media trolls being a public figure? Sorry,
It's okay. Sometimes you need to know what we give to the world, what we want them to know. And I've not let the world bash me for anything or or say something about me, I always tell myself, you know what? People love you for who you are on social media, and they follow you because of your work. Any other thing they come to you, say it's a private affair, or say something about the way you dress or what you do. Again, I'm doing my part, and I don't know, if anything, I don't know who you are on social media, but I know you follow me and you love me. And those don't then just keep writing, anything. I never take it personal, as long as I don't know you personally, like, oh, hi, I don't know you personally, so I don't take things at heart or so seriously. So I never let social media get into my face. The most I do social media is, put out what I would like people following me to know. What am I up to? What content am I producing? Is there anything that's new that they want to follow and come watch in the cinemas? So yeah, social media should be more of a happy space for artists.
That's good. I think one of the things I think recently it's a lot about cyberbullying and all that stuff behind the screen, and I know some people it's really hard to deal with and all that. What would you say about that?
Get up and move again. Get up and move again. I think this is not your next door neighbor. This is not your auntie. It's not your sister. These are people who are out there. Some are out there to help you, support you, move forward. Some are out there to actually bash you. Some are out there to bash you to feel better about themselves. So again, I think it's about getting up and moving again. Something has happened in social media. It's okay. I will always say it's news today, it's trash tomorrow. So I'll scroll through my phone and I'll scroll and read something. Oh, well, I'll scroll to the next and the next day. So it's news today, but it's trash tomorrow, and we move on. You just have to say it's not going to put me down, or it's not going to put me into depression or any kind of behavior that might help me sustain myself in public. So just dust it off, get up and do what you do best and keep moving forward. It will be forgotten the next day. Yeah. It's so sad. It's so sad that social media has led so many people, run to suicide. I've seen people kill themselves on social media. I've seen people abuse themselves, but it shouldn't go that far, knowing that we are all just a big world following each other to know what everyone is up to and get what we want to get from the people we love. So people shouldn't really get so attached to what they read and kind of get into depression or even get to a point of committing suicide. Cyberbullying is something that has to end. People should never think of attacking people through social media. It should be a happy space and a place for entertainment and, news, safe news.
Yeah.
But again, it's up to you to either take it in and get it to your heart and depress you, or move forward and say it doesn't matter today, even tomorrow it won't. So let's move to the next topic.
Yeah. That's really interesting. I think most people, it's just like you hear something about whatever they've said on social media, and they just like, you take it personally, and it's just like, oh, maybe I've become that person, maybe all of that, and it's really hard to find that balance. That brings me to another topic, kind of like mental health. How do you I know it's really tough being in public, being a public figure and all that. Do you have any content around mental health and all that in the pipeline, or something that you've done about mental health, or anything that you think about like mental health?
Actually, it's funny because before the lockdown, we were working on something about mental health, and it kind of didn't pick up because we had to meet so many different people to bring it together from like the mental health hospitals around Uganda and everything. So we kind of put it on a hold, but it's something I've always wanted to kind of address and put out. So I feel like mental health should be important to everybody. I think when you stop for every single day, think about yourself first and know that, am I safe in my mind? Am I safe to move out? Do I take whatever is put at me personally, or do I stop and say, you know what, it's not safe for my zone? So I think mental health should be addressed at an individual level, because we let it happen to ourselves. Is it drug use? Is it anxiety? Is it loneliness? We need to know what triggers your mental health, what triggers the bad side of your mental health, and then know and learn how to avoid the spaces that create it.
Okay, yeah, that's really good. So we hope to see something about mental health in the pipeline from Nabwiso Films.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good. That's good. There was a question. There's a question from Bill. How do you prepare yourself for a role in a movie, and does it affect your personal life?
It doesn't affect my personal life. I said it already, though. I kind of learn the role and what the role is about. How do I prepare myself? I read my script. I read the character Bible. Character Bible is where they write about the person you're going to be like, who the role you're acting. How do they act? Where do they live? Who are the parents? What do they act like? So after reading about all this, I find my space to kind of learn this person, and then I'll kind of put myself in their shoes and then learn the role. And then, yeah, that's how I prepare myself. So I take time off to understand this person who I'm going to act like, so that I make sure it's believed by everyone out there. And I don't let it affect my personal life, because when I'm working on it, I'm working on it. And when I'm done with it, it's like, you smile, and then, so I just get done with it and get back to being me. I don't let it get into my life spaces, because you never know who you're acting like or what the role is like. Could be dangerous.
Yeah, I think I don't know like how easy is it to transition from one being the character and being yourself?
I've not let myself do a method act before, because with method acting, you find yourself acting as somebody on TV and then being that person in real life. So for me, it's more like it's my work. When I'm there, I'm this person. When I'm away from work, I'm me, and no one should, and I've had such incidences where you've been in public and someone comes and says, "You're different." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "But I saw you on TV and you're not like this." I'm like, yeah, because the TV person is different, and this here is me. So people kind of want to, they see on TV, and they don't want to know that you're actually a different person in real life. So it's different. I keep it separate, so I don't let it affect my personal life in any way.
Yeah, that's I think like to most people, like when you watch like an actress or an actor on TV, you're just like, oh, they're that person in real life and all that, because you tend to put on like the role, you tend to wear the role or act the role like really perfectly, and it's just like, no, she must be. Anybody who just watched the movie, it's just like, no, she must be that person. But yeah. I think it's really tough to just be like, hey, I'm just this person today, I'm then a different person tomorrow, and I'm this person tomorrow. So I think to most people, like if you act a role that is relatable to them, you wear that, and then they're just like, oh, that person must be me. And it's just like they just take you to be that person, and it's in actual life, it's just like, okay, this person was just acting a role and getting into it and everything around it. So with I don't know if anybody has any questions right now, but one last question for you, just in case. I don't know if anybody has any others. Being a parent, would you let your child get into the entertainment industry? Being an actress or an actor, or?
I would actually. we've had days when we get
really?
up and our kids go, like, "Oh, I'm coming with you. I want to come with you. I want to be on TV." So I wouldn't force them to do it, but then for those who've asked, I was said, "Hey, let's go." And I think they've all kind of featured in some of our projects because they've asked.
Oh,
And
nice.
so it's up to them if they
Mhm.
want to take it on later on in life, or it was just a phase to know what mommy and daddy do. But they've all had a chance at it somehow. And if they ever woke up and wanted to do it for life, I would encourage it because I've been there, and I would know how to push them through it.
Oh, nice, nice. That's really great. I think it's quite a challenging one. I don't know. But that is really good to hear that you will actually support them on that road if they ever chose to walk down that road. We have one more question. This is from Bill. If you had the opportunity to work with any international actor, director, filmmaker, who would you pick?
I would pick Angelina Jolie.
Oh,
Angelina
why?
Jolie, because I can kind of relate to what she does. You know, she began as an actress, and then she was, acting for so long, and then one time she just switched and began producing content. And I felt like even when I changed from being an actress, not changing, but trying to double as an actress and as a producer, I kind of felt like if Angelina Jolie can do that, then so can I. So I think I would like to meet her and do
Ah,
something. She's got her hands on everything and does it so well.
that is really good. That's really good. Um, so I know we don't have any at this point we don't have any more questions, and thank you so much for chatting with us and chatting with me, and being an open book and letting us into your life and your career and everything. Thank you so much. And I don't know if Patricia, you have anything to say finally before we close.
Eleanor, thank you so, so much. It was worth waking up at 5 a.m., I promise. But I looked forward to this for so long because having women in the film industry at the helm of the film industry, not like, usually there's women that are working in the film industry, and then there's the woman that makes the shots and can actually pull the strings where she needs them when she needs them. And so I think that's why this one was big for me. I looked forward to it so much. And I kept telling everyone, she's a big deal in the film industry. Okay. She's not just an actress. She knows everything behind it too. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I think Success versus Greatness has given us a chance to blend people from so many different walks of life, so many different industries, and that it all comes down to the same thing, that really our definition of success and greatness is the same. I'm glad that we could do it on a Sunday that works for you. To everyone that's on this call, we appreciate you. And everyone on Facebook Live, we appreciate you all. And I'm about to share who the next speaker will be in about 15 or 20 minutes. But thank you so much, Eleanor. I will allow you to go back to being a parent because I know this is your day with your kids. But we just wanted to say thank you so much. And you have a great, great one.